Stephen, you've brought a camper van with you, which is a bit special today.
I have. It's our electric camper van, and it's on a Vauxhall Combo XL that I took to Iceland last August.
Why Iceland?
I get a lot of people come up at shows and exhibitions and they say, how far does it go? It's all about range. Everyone wants to know about range. And I thought, I'll go to Iceland, because if that's not far enough, well, I give up. That's far enough. You can do the distance, but you just need to plan your charge stops and take it easy. You know, don't use the last bit of the range. Just leave a comfortable bit in reserve and it's absolutely fine.
So I'm imagining that you sort of stop every sort of 20 minutes or something to charge. Is this a bit extreme?
No, not 20 minutes. For Iceland trip, you have to go from Brentwood in Essex, to Dover, Calais, then Calais up to northern Denmark, a place called Herschel's. That was about 900 miles, and I could have done it on 7-8 charges, because the vehicle does 170 miles on one charge. But you don't want to run it to the last bit, and I want to stop every couple of hours or so, have a coffee, have a cup of tea, cut the toilet, put the roof up, have something to eat. So in practice, I got there in just over 2 days, 900 miles in 2 days, so about 400 plus each day. And I had what worked out at 4 stops a day, and 5 on the last day, because I charged at northern Denmark, ready to go across to Faroe Islands, in fact, and then on to Iceland.
So we normally see you with a dog. Did she go with you?
You do normally see me with little Isla, my little Sheltie. No, sadly, she couldn't come this time because Iceland insist on 2 weeks quarantine, and I didn't want to put her through that, and frankly, it wouldn't have been worth it. So my brother and sister and family looked after her. She was fine, yeah, but I got regular updates on the video.
But if she's normally with you, how does she fit in there?
I'm driving in the driving seat, of course. The front passenger seat folds forwards and down to be horizontal. On the back of that seat, I have a storage area for the sleeping bag and bedding. And just behind that, there's a perfect space for her dog bed.
When it comes to facilities, obviously you're cooking in there. What sort of cooking facilities and washing facilities do you have?
I've got an induction hob, a single induction hob, a electric oven, which I use a lot. I use that mostly, and a microwave, and a fridge, of course.
But you've got no gas, so how do you actually keep it all going? That sounds like quite a lot of power that you need. Yeah,
we're completely gas-free, and I've been gas-free for about 12 years, my conversions. This vehicle has got a 345 watt solar panel on the roof. It's huge. It's the entire size of the roof. I have them made for me to my sizes. Inside the vehicle, I've got 8 kilowatts of lithium auxiliary batteries. It's probably 6-7 times the capacity of most camper vans and motorhomes.
Yeah, what was the best bit of Iceland for you?
It's hard to choose. One of the best bits was the crater at Mývatn Lake Mývatn. It's 1,000 meters around this crater, which you walk up the side and walk all around the rim. That was just astonishing. I mean, I've never been to a volcano before. The Mývatn, I later was told, means midges, and it was. You had to wear a netting. It was dreadful, but a wonderful place to go. The most memorable occasion, I came out of a campsite one morning. I think I was in the Field region, so the northeast. I came out of the campsite and I was about to join the road, and there was a brook or a stream running beside me, about 4 foot wide, and it was steaming. There was steam over its entire length just raising up, and I thought, my goodness, that's weird. I stopped, reversed up, got my cameras out, and I had a laser thermometer with me because that's what I do when I go away. I zapped the water and it was 54 degrees. A hot bath is 39, 38 degrees. It's 54 degrees. What a place Iceland is. It's coming out the ground. And I just had a shower and their hot water comes obviously from the geothermal springs, so their energy is obviously very, very green. So that was good.
And so how did you actually charge up while you were there?
Every night apart from one, I was charging from the campsite. So I hook up the campervan to the normal campsite hookup, and then I pull a Type 2 cable out from a little charger that we fit in the vehicle, in the camper, plugs into the normal charge port of the vehicle. Overnight it puts, depending on temperature, it puts between about 80 and 100, 110 miles of range a night. I averaged, my entire time in Iceland, I averaged 89 miles a day. That's what it averaged at. That means I could have sustained my charging entirely from the campsites, but I was there also to sample some of their fast charging charger devices as well. So I charged at some others as well. There was one time I had to go over a pretty serious mountain range, 2,000 or 3,000 feet I think they were, and on the app in the morning when I was having breakfast, I could see that the other side of the mountain range was a double charger, fast charger at services such as it is, and I went over the mountains. Of course, as I was going up the mountain passes, the range is really falling down quick, as you'd expect. But the beauty with electric, when you come back down the other side, you have regen braking, so the kinetic energy is put back into the battery. And I think it put about 30 miles of range back in by the time I got back down to sea level. And then, sure enough, like a mirage in the desert was the charging station. And I've got a great photo of charging there with these wonderful mountains and a bit of snow on the top of them in the background. Because the temperatures were overnight close to zero, maybe 2-3 degrees, but always a wind, and it was a real wind chill. And during the day I had a high of 19, so it was jumper off, really lovely for a couple of hours, and then it plummeted to about 7 or 8 degrees. So it's really wide ranging.
What sort of tips would you give somebody if they were thinking about buying an electric vehicle, electric campervan in particular?
I say to my customers, you need to have a smartphone and you need to be reasonably proficient at using it. And most people are. A lot of my customers are in their 70s and 80s, and it's not an age thing, it's your mindset.
So obviously the eco-friendly aspect is very important to you. Did you use any other sort of transport that was eco-friendly?
I established that at the very southern coast of Iceland, just off the coast, there's an island called Heimaey, and it's about half an hour ferry ride off of mainland, and that ferry is electric, and I thought I've got to go there. So I went to that place, and the ship was probably 50 vehicles, 60 vehicles, you know, it was reasonable size, and it did the half-hour crossing to the island of Heimaey entirely on electricity, and it had a thumping great charger, as you can imagine, and it took a 30-minute charge, and then it's ready to go back. And I couldn't help thinking how relevant that was, because my charges are about 30-35 minutes. But that island of Heimaey, it's very small. In the 70s, they had a volcanic eruption there, and it wiped out, I think, 300 odd houses of the local villages. And they've got one preserved and opened as a museum, and that was quite a place. And there was a young lady there from Brighton who worked behind the counter. So that was quite something, yeah.